Hello and welcome to another episode of the Golden Hour Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Mays.
And Connor McCaskill.
And we are here, episode 172.
Wow, we're on our way to 200.
That's right.
Pretty exciting.
Very close to 200.
How you been? It's been a while.
Good, man. Yeah, we had Tyler Stallman on last week because you were out of town.
Yep, I was out of town.
And it was a great conversation about the LUMIX S5 Mark II, which I now have in my hand.
Yes, I actually listened to the podcast. It was a great podcast. Tyler and you have really good on-podcast chemistry.
Tyler's the bass, man.
Yeah.
We should have him on while you're on as well. We could do a 3-way call.
Wow, that'd be intense.
Maybe one day him and Anya will come down to Nashville. That'd be fun.
Yeah, or we'll go up to Canada.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So let's get started with you sharing with us. I think you briefly mentioned it the last time we were on.
Yeah.
But your Canon R5
Debacle.
There's been a bit of an issue with your camera, and tell us the story.
Sure, we just jump right into it. The Canon R5, it's a camera I've owned for about a year or so now. And over the course of using it, Dave is probably the first one to really point it out to me. I kept having issues with noise, like a noisy sensor, which you and Tyler actually talked a little bit about the R5 image before, that it's a very fragile image. And I don't know, it was just an issue. I've shot with it and other R5s. I think that it's more of an issue than other R5s. In my opinion, mine seems particularly bad. It has a lot of noise in the shadows, like a lot of noise. And so it became enough of a problem that over the holidays, I was like, I'm just going to send it to Canon. Mm-hmm. And, I linked them some screenshots of issues that I was seeing. And I was like, I'll just send it to Canon, see what they say. And, hopefully they can fix it for me. And it got to Canon, description, paragraphs I sent them of like what I've noticed anyways. So I finally get an email back from them when it gets to the service center. And they're like, hey, we tested the audio and we couldn't find any issues with the audio. So your camera's fine. Would you mind sending us your lenses and audio equipment so we can further test it?
That wasn't anything you mentioned.
And I was like, audio? I was like, what do you mean you're testing the audio of my camera? It's a noise issue with the sensor. Like I very clearly described that and sent them photo and video examples. So I was really confused, and I gave them a call back and I was like, hey, like, I don't know what you're getting on about here with the audio, because I was like, I don't know if I sent you a description and I don't know if maybe I got the intern or something who just saw the word noise and was like, yeah, all right, I'll test the audio. So I recorrect. You have to talk to like a middleman with Canon. You can't just talk to the people who are working and servicing your camera. You have to go to the call center. So it's like they talk to them, they talk to me, I talk to them, they talk to the service center. So it's a bit of a terrible system, but so I send that information, they send it off, and then I get another email from them saying like, hey, you didn't respond, you didn't send us your equipment that we asked for, so we're not gonna do anything further with your camera. I was like, okay. So I call them back again. I was like, hey, you didn't test the thing that I said was an issue in the first place. I'm not sending you my lenses, I'm not sending you my audio equipment. It has nothing to do with the issue at hand. Please just test the camera and fix it, because it's an issue. I have compared it with other R5s. We know it's an issue, right? It's worse than the other R5s. Then I get, another week or so goes by. This is all over the holidays, so, lots of off time for them, so it keeps getting delayed. Now we're past the new year. I sent it off well before Christmas. So they've had my camera for about a month now. And I get another email. They were supposed to like email me back and, let me know what they found. They sent me another email that was just, hey, we're shipping your camera back. I was like, okay, what's going on now? So I call back again and I'm like, okay, I got an email saying they're sending my camera back. Did they fix it? Mm-hmm. Did they not fix it? What's the story here? I'm not getting any information from you guys. Mind you, they charged me $500. Almost immediately, they charged me $500 when they were testing the audio of my camera. So I wasn't happy about that.
Wow.
Because they charged me for something that wasn't even wrong with the camera.
At least the audio is good.
Yeah, the audio is great. They have found no problem with the audio. Well, and here's the deal. They also found, in their opinion,
Once they got around to testing.
Once they finally got around to testing it, maybe, who knows what they actually did. They didn't really go into too much detail. But they said, hey, we didn't find any issues outside of our standard of acceptable quality. And then they, gave me a dumb answer like, hey, when you increase the exposure in post-production, you get some noise. Oh, okay, thanks.
And when you shoot log.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, thanks. So they sent it back to me, and I just didn't have any say-so in it. And long story short, I'm just over it. Yeah, the camera here. I sold it. I sold the camera. I put on there serviced by Canon because it was.
Yeah,
it's clean, and it's someone else's problem now.
Yeah.
If it's within, I think the reason I didn't notice the noise issue as much before is because I was shooting a lot with the Jim Cook, and we were doing a lot of live streams, so we were shooting in neutral picture profile, and so the camera's doing noise processing internally, and I guess it was enough that it wasn't too much of an issue.
Well, to be honest, I've talked to Tyler about it and other people, and it does seem to be common especially with C-Log 3. It's just not a good codec. It's noisy. It doesn't give you the cleanliness of the C70 with C-Log.
Yeah, it's like you gain some dynamic range, but you lose so much quality in that dynamic range that it's almost like, what's the point? Like, should we just be shooting regular C-Log?
Did you see Cam Mackey's video switching to Sony?
Yeah, I saw it.
He was very angry about his switch, and Tyler and I talked about it last week as well, but that's one of the things he talked about. Almost all other manufacturers are giving us full unlocked log profiles.
Yeah.
And C-Log 3, though it is better than nothing, it's not their best profile.
No, I think that Canon has been doing, I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? They're comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. So they've been comfortable. They're comfortably on the top. They've been on the top for all these years that they feel like they can still play this game with us where they can just keep like taking things away and putting it in other things.
Yeah.
And they think they can get away with it, and that we'll just, roll over and accept it because we like Canon colors or we like the Canon body. At a certain point, it's ridiculous. I think Cam's video was great. If you haven't seen it, I think you already promoted it in the last one, but it just really emphasized, the issues with Canon and the fact that they are not consumer first. They are company first. They're trying to, make a certain amount of profits, which I think in the end is going to hurt them because they're pissing everyone off.
So here's the title and thumbnail here. I'm breaking up with you, Canon. Canon made me switch to Sony.
Yeah.
Great title. So I'll mute it. But yeah, maybe we should have Cam on. The three of us.
That would be fun.
And we could talk about this.
Yeah.
Because also the Golden Hour podcast has not subscribed. I'm subscribed to Dave May's channel, but
we'll do another subscription. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So everybody check out Cam Mackey's video here.
Yeah. And really his live stream is great too. If you want like an unfiltered version, you can also watch his live stream. I made sure to watch that as well.
Yeah.
Cam's killing it. He's doing great stuff. So he switched to Sony, and he's, he says all the things that we still say. It's like, I think it's like the ergonomics are still better with Canon. And he's still, what do I do?
That's a very applicable
He
soundbite.
He also was talking about the fact that he thinks that Canon colors are still technically like 6% better or something. He's like, something like that. But then he also made the point that as a artist and as a filmmaker, he should be able to correct for that with any profile he's given. So, long story short, I'm selling my Canon. But I'm still buying a Canon. So I'm still going to end up with the R6 Mark II.
Wait, I was going to do a drum roll.
Oh.
So what's the camera you're going to purchase instead?
It's a R6 Mark II. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually this camera, the one that's filming me right now. Hi, how we doing? The reason is because I simply shoot with a lot of guys who shoot Canon cameras. Yeah. And you kind of all want to be on the same system. Totally. So I'm more or less downsizing in a way. The R5's too much of a camera, and I can get the R6 and it'll work great and all that good stuff. So I'm not too worried about it.
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you're going to still stay in the Canon ecosystem because you work with Jim Cook specifically, who shoots all Canon. And I would argue, though, and maybe we should do some tests, that you could probably get away with this with the Canon C-Log 2 transform from V-Log to C-Log 2 with the real-time LUT. In fact, I got an email after the podcast with Tyler from a Panasonic person who specifically explained how to do that V-Log 2 C-Log 2 transform. And he said it is, with pretty much like it is very much just C-Log 2. Like it's a true log format. And I don't understand this whole DaVinci Resolve transform thing.
Right.
But because this is such a solid codec, you're able to shoot 10-bit 422, and it's a true log format at V-Log. You can actually convert it to C-Log. So if that's the case, then theoretically, you could really make this work. And with the Canon, the Sigma L mount to EF adapter, you can put EF lenses on here and they work really well.
The only thing would be RF lenses. I wouldn't be able to use those. But besides that, that's not a bad idea. It would be interesting to test that. That does kind of leave me, though, with the fact that it's like, I don't know what camera system I want to go with, because I have been thinking about it. I do like the LUMIX system. I've been impressed with it in using it. I think it's almost like
There you go. You can hold it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I need to hold it. It's definitely an appetizing camera. Like, I think what it's missing for me is a little bit of that soul, which is why I kind of like Fujifilm, because it has that. But
I was gonna say Canon doesn't have that.
No. Sony doesn't either. But I think, I don't know, it's one I do like it a lot.
I do think it's a little bit more stylish, and I like the ergonomics a little bit more than Sony, that's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sony needs to update they've been doing the same camera design for years, and it would be nice to see an updated Sony body style.
I like on the LUMIX, I think I've talked about before, but just the dedicated white balance button, the dedicated ISO button.
Yeah.
The dials are really easy to turn, and it works really well. So.
I think I just need to play with it more, because I only used it in Japan for those couple days. So I just didn't get enough time with it myself.
We'll try to get another one.
Yeah, I know you've been messing with it and you've really enjoyed it. So I need to get it and use it for a while. To really appreciate it. I think the cameras that are most enticing to me right now are Fujifilm. So I really kind of want to get the XH2S, and they actually just had a nice autofocus update. So I'd be curious to try that. They added a lot more of that, or I guess not a lot more. That would be stretching it a bit. They added some more of that the AI autofocus stuff into the XH2S system. And the XH2 system. So I'd be curious to mess around with that and play around with it, but I'm not sure. I just don't know. I mean, I'll have the R6 and that'll be fine, but I've been very disappointed with Canon lately. I think we all have. I think we're all feeling it. There's one reason or another that we're staying with the system.
Yeah. For me, I do like the C70 quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
there's still compromises with the C70 though.
But as far as the hybrid cameras go, I'm out. I have no reason to be in the hybrid world from Canon. So I don't have interest in the R6 or even the R5C. The LUMIX makes more sense for me personally.
Right. No, and I think the LUMIX is a fantastic option, and for the price, you almost can't beat it. Honestly, I mean, like it's even cheaper than the XH2S. So. It's kind of one of those things.
For our next segment of the show,
make it sound so official,
we're going to look at some images that you took on your film camera in Tokyo.
Yeah, so don't judge me too hard on these, because I was using I was shooting with the Canon AE1. This is a program. This is Dave's, not the one I was using. But I was using CineStill 800T, which is a film that I had never shot with before. So I did make some mistakes, as we'll go through here. You'll see a lot of noise in some images that were underexposed or whatever.
Yeah.
That being said, I do think that some of them turned out pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, some of them are out of focus, but that's because my my focus prism that is in there, it's really hard to see it. So I have other AE ones, lots of them.
He has 3 now.
I have 3 now.
You should experiment with them, see which one you like best.
Yeah, and then get rid of the other ones. Well, actually, I'll keep the one that was my grandfather's.
Yeah.
It's sentimental value. But then besides that, I'll see which one I like
Make sure
best.
to keep track of which one is his.
It's the one in the original box.
Yeah, but once you start mixing them up.
It's true. I'll have to
down
look
the
at
serial
the...
number.
I'll write down the serial number.
And I will say too, if you're an audio listener, which many of you are, maybe hop over to the YouTube video, or potentially if you're a Spotify listener, we may have the video on Spotify up and running. We've had some issues with it. I've already tried it with some of our latest episodes and it wasn't working. So I'll follow up on that next week.
We'll try again with this one, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But here we go. This is the airport. Definitely a little noisy. Also got a shot here of Terry Warfield.
Hey, Terry.
Slightly out of focus. As
Yeah,
you
a
can
little
see,
underexposed too, but
there is that underexposed. But the lights, the way that CineStill turns the lights like this nice, almost Darth Vader lightsaber red.
yeah, it's really cool.
It's kind of cool.
Especially on this one.
Especially on this one. Still a lot of noise on the sides, but that's just part of film, right? You get what you get.
This might be one of my favorite images, I think. It just looks so cinematic. If you cropped it to a 2:3:5 aspect ratio.
Oh yeah. Maybe process this one just for fun to see.
I
how
do
it looks.
notice your horizon is off a bit. It's a little off kilter.
Off kilter. I don't know what it is. I do this all the time. The way I hold the camera, for some reason, it's a little off the horizon, which normally isn't an issue because you just punch in a little and fix it.
Yeah.
But in this case, I keep the border on my scans, and
You could technically,
it is what it is.
in Photoshop, do like a square select of this, right? And then you zoom it, fix it, but then keep just the dark edges, and it probably would blend.
That's way too much work. Part of the film is just taking it and keeping it, you know? There we go. Just some night photos here, the taxis.
I like this one again. The nighttime CineStill shots look really good.
Right. And that's what it's for. It's meant for night photography, as far as I'm aware. That's the train station. We were there all the time. Really cool how their train station worked. We already talked about that.
Yeah.
Super not so great.
This
Obviously,
one's clean.
Shooting it in daytime, it does look clean, although you can tell we missed focus. Dave shot that one. Great composition.
Thank you.
Just missed that focus. And then mine, worse composition, but also missed the focus. Mine's twice as bad.
And as you can see in that image, I did carry around one of those little disposable cameras, the Fujifilm disposable, the little green camera. So maybe on the next episode, if I get that developed,
That'd be great
we
to
could
go
look
through.
at those as
It'll
well.
It'd be funny. It's like, oh, these shots are way cooler than this film camera.
I don't know. We'll see.
Anyways, just more city shots. Again, the way that the highlights bloom with this film, I really like it. It adds a redness to a lot of stuff. Now, I think that my film may have had a light leak, which you'll see in some of the photos. I like some of these. But I'm not 100% sure.
This one's awesome.
This might be one of my favorites of the bunch.
The subway station, the trains coming towards us or going away, actually. I don't know.
I think it was coming at us, but it just looks really cool. Again, you got those nice Darth Vader flares. It just looks particularly nice.
And in that image, too, you can see how perfect the Japanese people are at lining up
Yes.
and waiting their turn, and everything was just so orderly and well put together.
As we talked about before, this one
This is cool too.
it adds the film. I like the green hue. It almost gives me like a matrixy vibe in a way. I do kind of like that.
It's a temple that was behind our hotel there, a beautiful little temple.
Yeah, we had a temple. That was the palace of the emperor. It's not the best shot, but that is, well, there's the gate to the palace.
Yeah, we couldn't even see anything.
We weren't allowed to go in. Terrible shots of some trees, cityscape. There's Dave and I.
Hey, there's the mom photo.
There's the mom photo. And this is what I'm talking about. You can tell if you're looking at the video. From the bottom, you can see the red kind of go up from the bottom.
Yeah.
The same kind of red that comes from the flares. So I think I had a little bit of a light leak.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can really see it in that one.
Yeah,
but it almost kind of adds a cool
yeah.
extra dimension to some of these photos. So I don't know if I really mind. There it is again. That's a very obvious one.
Also with some sort of line going on down the
Yeah, it might have been a hair or something got onto something. I'm not really sure how it works.
Yeah. These little boats were so peculiar looking. They looked like little futuristic submarines.
Or like a human containing torpedo.
Yeah. It's just big, long silver boats. Very interesting indeed.
Yeah. So just more shots of the water, just whatever looked interesting to me at the time.
I remember you're burning through film, I think, at this point for some reason.
I think I just wanted to finish the roll.
Yeah.
So there we go. There's the
Big
giant carrot that we saw. I don't actually know what it is. If you know what it is, let us know.
We had a Japanese listener say that they call it the giant turd.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, giant golden turd.
Yeah, giant golden turd.
I love that. Yeah, just some great photos, great memories. Actually, there's a bird, I think, flying through there. Got the bird. That's
good snap.
That's good production value right there.
There's the temple, and these are really beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful red temple.
The beautiful red temple. You had all the ladies walking around in the traditional.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called. It's kind of a kimono.
I think it is. I don't know.
But I'm sure I'm wrong. But it was very, very cool. And that's the last photo.
That's it.
So
what are your takeaways from CineStill 800?
I got another roll. I like to shoot it, but this time I'll shoot it differently and see if I get better, less noisy results, because it does seem to be kind of a noisy. It's almost like C-Log 3, a little bit of a noisier film, but that's okay. That's the pleasure of shooting film, is you shoot with it, you see what you get, and at the end of the day, they're all just memories.
Yeah.
Right? So even if it's not perfect, that's what makes it kind of cool.
Totally. Well, moving on to the Super Ryko Flex.
Felks.
Felks?
I
What's
clearly,
a Felks?
Well, it's a mistype is what it is.
Okay.
The Super Ryko Flex. So yeah, I was out of town.
Uh-huh.
And I was visiting family, and the case is broken. It actually broke today.
I saw it happen.
It was bound to happen. Here, I'll point it. It's definitely broken. It was bound to happen at some point. This has been sitting in a closet at my grandparents' house for the last however many decades.
Wow.
It's just been sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah. Here, keep talking.
And so when I was there, I asked my grandmother, and I said, hey, just out of curiosity, do you happen to have any cameras, lying around that you don't want or need anymore? And her response was basically, well, I might have something. It's probably just like a disposable camera or something. I'm not really sure what I have, but you're welcome to go through my closet and see what's there. And so I went up in there, and I found 7 cameras. 7.
So you didn't even know that would be the case?
No, I had no idea. I didn't realize that they did that, but my grandfather used to be pretty wealthy. So I think he was just going on trips, and he probably went up to whatever camera counter, camera store, and was just like, give me whatever you got. You know? So one of them, besides that Canon AE1 that's still in the original box, which is hilarious to me, broken, was this guy. It's not the most expensive camera in the world, not even close, but I just found it to be particularly beautiful and interesting. So this is a Super Ryko Flex. This is, I believe, a medium format. It's a 6x6, shoots 120 film, and it's really cool. Basically, it's meant to be shot from the waist. So there's this top bit here, which you flip up, and you actually look down into the top of the camera in order to see what you're doing. So it has a twin lens system.
Yeah.
One of the lenses, and I don't really know which one it is, but one of the lenses is the one you're actually looking through, and then the other lens is the one that actually takes the photo. I believe this is the one that takes the photo. And then this
so that's
is the one
why
you
there's a
look through.
gear on both there.
both.
So as you focus your main lens, it's focusing the other one.
Yeah, so they both focus together.
Interesting.
And then, it has different things, but
I mean, that's what what's the main the flex,
the Rolleiflex.
Rolleiflex are the popular ones that Ryko, I guess, copied.
Yeah, so a lot of companies copied. Ryko was one of them. This was actually their most popular. I was doing some research on it. This was their most popular camera they've released of this series. They originally came out in 1956. if I had to guess, looking at the serial number, I think that this one came out in 1960, but I really don't know.
1956.
Yeah, but it's a pretty cool find. It doesn't work yet.
How are you gonna fix it?
YouTube and tear it apart myself, because essentially what makes these kind of cool is it's just a box. That's all it is. So I'll take it out of the case. So it is just a box. So if you open up the bottom and you check it out on the back side, it's just a cavity where you slide the film over. There's no mechanics to it at all, other than the fact that it's just a wheel that you rotate, which literally pulls the film across.
Yeah.
And how you know what film shot you're on is there's a window on the back here. And if you flip it up, it has a red piece of glass, so not too much light gets in there.
Yeah.
And you can see the number film shot. So you also know when you've rotated it enough, because you'll see a number, like number 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how you know what shot you're on, because obviously this came out a long time ago.
It's heavier than I thought, actually.
Yeah, it's metal. But what's wrong with it is that the lenses don't rotate.
Yeah.
So it's seized up. So I'll do some research into how to fix it, or maybe I can find a local company that can service it and fix it. Because I would like to shoot some stuff with it. It'd be kind of cool.
Clean it. What's it called? CLA, clean, lubricate, adjust.
Yeah.
That's what CLA is.
So
you just need to get it CLA'd.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just been sitting in a closet for 50 years.
You're right, exactly.
And then you also got another AE1 in the original box, which is crazy. But
yep, another AE1, and then there was another. It was like a kip. I don't know what the other company was, but it was like a cool little point and shoot camera. But the battery acid, because the battery's been sitting in there for decades, corroded all the plastic on it, and it's like cracking. And I didn't even think about it because it was covered in this white dust. I was like, oh, what in the world? And I touched it. I touched the battery acid. Nice. So my hand was like tingly the rest of the day.
Yeah, I like to add that to the top of my coffee.
Oh, is that right?
It adds a nice little spice to it.
Oh, yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah. Speaking of spice, Canon has the new M50 replacement coming soon, in theory.
Yeah, speaking of the camera company that we don't like, hey, more cameras from Canon.
Canon EOS R50. Hey, I will say I like Canon. I just wish they were better.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think that's the truth. We all wish Canon was better.
If the R6 Mark II or R5 or whatever had the features of this, and did,
C-Log 2.
C-Log 2 and had better IBIS performance that wasn't all warpy wobbly and was clean and had shutter angle and waveforms, hey, I'd be all about it.
Right, so, exactly.
But yeah, R50, which is, I guess, the R version of the M50. We just wanted to bring it up because the M50 is quite famous on the old Kinotika channel.
Yeah, our best performing videos by far.
In fact, let's see where that one's at. Let's see, Dave Mays M50. That main one. So the one we did with Zach 2 years ago is almost at 200,000 views, but then the main one is at over 1 million.
Yeah.
Now, which is nuts, man. What's cooking, everybody?
Yep, the classic.
Yeah, 1 million views. It's the only video that we did that I think surpassed 1 million.
We had a few do pretty well, almost to that point. I think one hit like 800,000 or 600,000.
Yeah, so the DJI Osmo Pocket versus GoPro, and then the A6400. Anyways.
Yeah, so.
But good old classic Krinotikas.
But I am curious to see what they do with the R50. I mean, really what's curious with Canon cameras when they come out is it's not what will they have, it's what will they not have.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's really the question. What won't it have? Is it, I don't know, they might just like no autofocus in 4K like they did with the original M50 or whatever. They always find something.
You know what else is interesting is earlier I had the C70 screen flipped out and you kept looking at the C70.
And now I'm looking at this
And now I flipped to the R6 screen so you could hold the camera up, and I notice you're just looking at the R6.
It's a problem.
It's like when you go to a bar or you go to Buffalo Wild Wings or something and you're trying to talk and you just look up at the TVs. And
yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's tennis or something. And it's like, I don't watch tennis. I don't care about tennis, but I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah, no, how's your day, man? Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And I can't help it. So sorry.
That's okay.
I'm looking slightly away from you guys. It's not intentional, I promise.
No, it's fine. So I have something that I'm going to show you that it's not on our notes here. It's not on our list.
Oh.
But I think you might find it mildly interesting. Okay, so this is a game that I used to play when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I just discovered it again because there's actually a community of people that play it still.
Oh, what? Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, the original,
No, this is number 2.
Oh, sure.
Okay?
Yeah. Roller Coaster 1 and 2 were this same style, this kind of like almost 8-bit kind of
It's kind of
vibe.
cool. I love the art style, to be honest.
So I'll show you the park that I've been working on. So
Wow, it's way less pretty than the one on the menu.
yeah. So I don't know if anybody remembers this game when they were young, but this was definitely one of my favorite games.
When did this come out?
This was 90s, like 1999, I think was the first one, and then
Really?
like early 2000s for this one.
Okay. It looks older than that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It was just, this was kind of the art style,
Right.
which was great because it could play really smoothly on any machine, even at the time.
It's kind of cool, though, with
really
the
smooth.
8-bit style. I do like it.
So,
Or 16-bit.
I guess in a way, like if I were a kid now, I probably would have been into Minecraft, but this was super fun for me
This
at the
was
time.
your Minecraft.
This was my version of Minecraft. So I'm going to clear this field right now.
Yeah.
And then
We're doing, oh, hey, this is like, okay, so we're doing a Let's Play here. Got it.
and then like I could either build my own roller coaster or basically buy one that's already pre-made.
Oh, nice.
I don't have enough money for that one.
Well, you're not rich. That's kind of cool.
But yeah, so it's super fun. And let's see, how much money do I have? I have $9,000.
That doesn't seem like enough money to buy a roller coaster.
There we go.
That's not even enough money to buy a Honda Civic today.
Yeah, I still don't have enough money.
Yeah.
I almost do. But
If you can
anyway,
buy a roller coaster for $9,000, I don't want to be on it. You know what I mean?
that's true.
Yeah, that's just
But yeah,
the truth.
so you have like you build these roller coasters and you charge money, and then people line up and
Oh, yeah.
you ride them
so-
and da da da.
I was a huge
Nobody's riding this one.
Zoo Tycoon fan back in the day.
Same kind of brand, I think.
I think it is, yeah. Or at least companies are ripping each other off, one of the two. But Zoo Tycoon 2 was the one I
Yes.
played. I think Zoo Tycoon 1 was a lot like this style.
I played Zoo Tycoon as well.
But Zoo Tycoon 2 had like 3D graphics, and you could like go down and walk around from the, human perspective. And I spent way too many hours playing that. And to be honest,
Look at the line at this
I've
one.
recently picked up, not Zoo Tycoon, but Planet Zoo. It's the same thing.
Same concept.
It's Zoo Tycoon essentially, and I sometimes play it still.
Yeah.
I played it last night, actually. I hadn't played it in a couple months, and I was like, it's just like peaceful. There's something about it.
We know it's interesting. Look at this. Yeah, this one coaster, people are lining the crap out of
people
that.
like that one.
I should charge more for that one.
Yeah, you need to be making
I'm already
more money.
charging $5 to ride this one roller coaster. It's ridiculous.
Wow, and that's in $1990, so that's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. So you got like a little cotton candy thing. Anyways, it's fun. So
That's
if
pretty
you're
cool, man.
if you were into Roller Coaster Tycoon, check out OpenRCT 2 is what it's called.
Okay.
And here, I'll overwrite that. And basically what you do to do this legally is you can actually purchase the game from various websites, and then so then you own the game technically, and then you essentially have to rip the game out of the wrapper of what you purchased, and then you input it into this open sourced player.
So you can play it on your Mac.
So you can play it on a Mac or even Linux, I think.
Yeah.
And there's also some just niceties with OpenRCT as well. Like you can speed things up, and they're actually actively working on it. So
Yeah.
Whereas if you just buy it, play it on a Windows machine, it's just whatever the company that makes it makes you do. So I've
That's cool,
thoroughly
man.
enjoyed that. If
Yeah.
you're an old school Roller Coaster Tycoon fan, let me know in the comments
There you
section.
go. Is there multiplayer?
Not really.
Okay.
All right, so this is big news for us. Only people who listen to this show who happen to live in Nashville will benefit from this. But In-N-Out Burger is coming to Nashville, starting in, of course, Franklin, Tennessee.
Of course, that makes a lot of sense.
But literally, our governor got up on stage and announced to our state,
Yeah.
Governor Bill Lee announced that In-N-Out is coming to Tennessee.
Wow. Congratulations.
Plans not to only open restaurants here, but a corporate hub in Franklin, posting 100. Oh, that's why I guess it's a big deal. $125 million investment in the state. So there's so many people moving here from California. Maybe that's why.
Well, we got a Shake Shack recently.
Yeah.
In Nashville. So it only makes sense now. In-N-Out's coming. Now the real question is, what are they going to do about the palm trees?
Yeah. I wonder if they'll bring in the palm trees and just do it, out front.
I wonder if they'll be real, because there's no shot a palm tree is going to
probably not
survive Middle Tennessee winter.
Just all our weather.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a big deal for me. That was one of the few things that I strongly missed from living in California, being able to just drive down the street and be like, oh, I'm going to get a burger and, trust that it's a good burger that's super affordable. And Connor and I have had arguments about this in the past.
Yeah.
And maybe when In-N-Out finally comes, which, by the way, is going to be several years from now. It's 3 years.
This is just the announcement.
Just the announcement. But, we should do like an In-N-Out episode because, Connor notoriously is not a huge In-N-Out fan necessarily. It's not like you're against them.
Nope.
But you just don't get the hype.
It's just very whatever to me. Yeah. I don't get the hype. But, I don't have to offend too many people today. Decent burger. Better than decent burger.
Yeah.
Worse than good fries.
Yeah, the fries, I give him that, and many people agree with Connor on that. And maybe that's partially why his vote is so low.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a place in town here called Freddy's that we've been to a couple times, and they have better fries and equally good burgers, probably. Right. So, but In-N-Out does have its own kind of taste, its own flavor, kind of like Subway. Subway has its own kind of type of taste.
Right. Subway.
And I think the big kicker for me with In-N-Out is that it is quality burger in a fast food chain.
It's sourced locally, right?
That's why it's such a big deal. Yeah,
I can respect all of that.
They're having to build a whole infrastructure here in Tennessee of farmers providing the meat and things.
Right.
So that's probably why it takes 3 years. It's going to be a lot of money and a lot of time to build the infrastructure.
So, but a lot of weird stuff in fast food. We got In-N-Out here, Chick-fil-A selling hamburgers, which you talked about maybe a month or so ago.
Well, we should do that. My friend Jeffrey was telling me that the only location in the country is here in Nashville that's selling the hamburger.
Really?
At Chick-fil-A, it's the one downtown.
So, well, shoot. We should go try that out.
But yeah, I'm not eating meat for another 2 more months. So,
oh, you're not? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have to wait.
Okay, right on.
But anyways, yeah. So that's our show today.
Yeah, kind of a weird one. Nothing too immense or, no big announcements lately, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's an episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. Please let us know if you have any suggestions for future episodes, ideas. We're going to try to be as consistent as we possibly can.
Yeah.
This coming year.
That's the goal.
Not this coming year, this year.
Also, if you guys happen to know what we're doing wrong with Spotify, if we haven't figured it out already, let us know. Whoever suggested it, if you know what we're doing wrong, just hit us up.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. I'm your host, Dave Mays.
This is a less than good outro. I'm your co-host, Connor McCaskill.
And we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.
Blessings of champagne out on the dance floor. Hanging with some girls I never seen before. You used to call me on my cell phone.